Well, for me, from a managerial perspective, as managers, we don't really get involved with trainer and fighter relationship. However, if there's an issue where a trainer is not available for a fighter and they need a trainer, or as a manager, it's my job to find a reputable one that will be able to, have a good relationship with the fighter. But when it comes to Derrick James and Errol Spence, most of the time, and I'll let the expert Greg speak on this part, most of the time, fighters and trainers, they usually make agreements on a handshake. Sometimes it's not even on paper most of the time. So it's kind of hard if you file a lawsuit and you don't really have no proof. Now, if there's text messages and phone conversations that can be, and emails like, hey, you gave me a promise that you was gonna pay me the 10% plus, you might have something there. But from my standpoint, when you look at a guy like Errol Spence and a guy like Derrick James, they've been together since puppy days. We should never have to go through this, is what I'm saying. Okay, the agreement is 10%, but I shouldn't have to worry about if you're gonna pay me back in and all that, because at the end of the day, throw him something. Looked out. Derrick James looked out for Errol Spence, we all know that. His whole style is Derrick James. No disrespect to Spence, he's a really good fighter. I'm talking business now. All I'm saying is, you gave him the 10, so if that was the agreement, you reached the deal, no problem. But if he feel like he hurting, maybe his bills was late, well, anything happened, and he call you and say, yo, man, I'm hurting, it shouldn't be, to me, it shouldn't be no real conversation about that, because they have more of an uncle-nephew relationship. So it should never have to go through a point where we walking in court. Court? Yeah, come on, bro. Like, y'all could have had a phone conversation, and even if Errol Spence didn't want to pay him, Derrick, respect that, and if you don't want to train him no more, move on. It's just business, it's never personal. But when you come in the game together, it's personal first. And then all of a sudden, when the business comes, sometimes that definitely ruins relationships, sometimes.
I mean, one thing that I live by, I never seen a Brinks truck pull up to a graveyard. What I mean is, when you die, the money ain't going with you. At the same time, too, where we come from, and I mean guys from Philly, I can't speak around the world for what they go through. It's tough out here. I mean, it's mean out here. And the truth is, nobody care about a grown man. Nobody care if you're doing good or bad. You know what I'm saying? And they only love you when you're doing something for them. But for all the struggles and everything we've been through, I'm not gonna watch my brother starve. I'm not gonna watch him need. So I'm not gonna say Derrick James needed the money or he's starving, but guess what? I'm gonna take care of him, because for all the times you was in tight spaces and he helped you out, whether it was in or out of the ring, you know what I mean? Anything else been done to you outside the gym or outside of boxing ain't had nothing to do with him. As far as a trainer, as far as I know, I don't know, because I don't know them. But he's done his best. You know what I'm saying? He's even provided safe facilities for them to train in. Like, we not even gonna train here no more. We going in the cut. I heard you can't even type their gym into the what's the name and find it. Yeah, you gotta get the directions from Derrick James. You know what I'm saying? So he making sure you getting the best training and shit like that, and whatever else y'all been through. So I say give him the money just because it's just something petty to be arguing about, because like I said, you don't die with the money. It's not going with you.
How surprised were you guys when the news came out that it was actually going to court based off of the relationship they seem to have?
I was extremely surprised because
I wasn't surprised because, not to cut you off,
come on, bro.
Because this shit could get bad. This shit could get bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? People be really from certain situations where they learn certain shit when the motherfucker owe you money. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, court is the best bet. So that's why I wasn't surprised. Because I'm not gonna hurt you. That don't make sense. What would that look like? All the work them two men put in, and now we gonna blow it all on. I had to go ahead and do something to you about some money. That's stupid. So I wasn't surprised with the court, because that's what you gotta do. You gotta handle it legally. You know what I'm saying? When you become a certain age, and you know what I mean? It's just how it go.
I was only surprised only because it was just those two guys. I mean, for over the years, we've seen them really have a really good chemistry in the ring, in the corner, and like them, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When I heard that they wasn't, forget the court part, but that they was even having a beef and it was public, it reminded me of not seeing Bernard Hopkins with the great legend, R.I.P., his brother Nazim Richardson, because these guys started from back in the day. And so now you seeing Errol Spence and his trainer started from back in the day, and this happened. The problem is, like what Greg said, it's all about money sometimes. And when these guys coming together, everybody hungry. And let me say this too, to defend what I was saying about Derrick James. These trainers put out a whole lot of money, and Greg can speak on this too, even in the amateurs with these guys. And they don't get paid. They don't get no retribution. They don't get, oh damn, I remember that time when you flew me and my family out, when you fed us while we was higgled. So for it to go to court, that means that this is serious enough where this probably was something on paper. I don't know, because most trainers don't get back in money and all that, but the bottom line is, if you owe the man, pay Derrick James, and if he feel like, 10% was cool, look, I'm hurting, because look, trainers got to eat in between fights too now, right? So go ahead and look out, and then look, and if it don't work no more, it's business, and both of y'all can part ways. But I'm surprised that we even have to have this conversation about court of all places. Like, I don't know.
If you knew your fighter and his trainer was going through something like this, you as a manager, would you step in?
Absolutely. I'll make a phone call to both guys. And it only depends on the investment that both guys made with each other. Now, if this guy only trained you 2 fights, I had nothing to do with it. But we're talking 20-something years. This probably could have ended with a mature phone conversation. I mean, for real, but sometimes it don't. Like Greg said, nothing surprising in boxing. Anything happen. But I wouldn't get in the middle of it if these guys was uncle, brother. They have an uncle, brother. That's like family. So really, I got to stay out of it as a manager. That's like family. These guys might hurt each other.
But if word is that they're going to court, is it one of those things where
I'm gonna make a phone call. Y'all going to court? I make a phone call.
Put it like this.
I make a phone call.
Put it like this. When they was out, where did Bud and him fight? In Vegas?
Yeah.
When they was in Vegas and Bud tried to play with Derrick James. Derrick James was like, what's up?
Yeah.
That's who you got rolling with you. That's who you got rolling with you. You don't got no sucker. You got a real dude rolling with you. He willing to go to war over you. Bud wasn't acting like that because of Derrick. He was acting like that because of Herb.
That's true.
That's the reason we here.
That's true.
So this not my trainer. This my brother. This my uncle. This my old head. You know what I'm saying? So for that alone, I don't want him. If me and Marty see each other and we in LA, guess what? Marty, you good?
Yep.
G,
Same
you
here.
good?
Same here.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Same
all right,
here.
let me know if anything.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of shit going on out there that we don't know where it's coming from, how it's coming, and I got to make sure he get back to Philly. He got to make sure
he got to get back to Philly. That's just how we roll. That's
so
right.
if I eat, Marty, you eat something?
Yep.
No, I just ate. I'm good. You sure?
Yes,
you
sir.
want, I mean, a soda, something.
Yep.
I'm not letting you go out like that. So at the end of the day, whether they talked about it or not, he was there when you wasn't fighting for nothing.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? When coaches be paying out of pocket to go to these nationals, $2,500, $3,000, whatever they got paid, then some of them be taking 15 kids, all this crazy ass shit. Don't nobody ask them what they need. Yep. Yeah, sometimes you get sponsors, stuff like that. But a lot of times the parents don't be pitching in. They act like they do. $200-$300 maybe. All right, cool, and we appreciate it. But at the same time, like, that's what you give them a percentage for. Because all the times you ain't get nothing. We left with a trophy. Like, all right, cool, yeah, and I'm glad you won. That's what we here to do. But at the same time, don't front on the money. Don't front when the money comes. Don't get like that, because then now you can turn somebody's whole life around, because they like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
When you win, it's supposed to be a win for us.
And that's right. But the world is so selfish, and they preaching selfish, that these type of situations happen and people don't care no more. I mean, I had to get away from certain people because of money. Like, I mean, dudes mentioning certain things they shouldn't be mentioning, saying shit out their mouth they shouldn't be saying. I'm like, let me get away from it. I mean, because this shit gonna get bad. And it's bad that it gets that bad, but it does. And at the end of the day, like Marty said, what about when none of y'all fighting? He still gotta make money. He still gotta make money. I never heard of Derrick James being a contractor or doing some other shit or a doctor. He a boxing coach. You know what I'm saying? So if ain't nobody fighting, he ain't making no money. Or he not making the money he used to make it. You know what I'm saying? So you got paid. Make sure.
Him and Charlo out of the ring for what?
Over a year.
Over a year.
Yeah.
So that's a hell of
Yeah.
I feel
And guess what? Bills ain't gonna stop.
Nope.
Bills gonna keep creeping up
And
every
look,
month.
And it would have been great if they could have came to somewhere, look, instead of it being 10, after maybe a year or 2 or 3, when the real money start coming, I pay you 20%. It don't always have to be 10.
Or what about a set number?
Or a set
Like
number.
like
We
instead
just
of you giving
agreed
a
on a
percentage,
number.
like, look,
Yeah.
you take 800,000.
Yeah.
You know, this next fight.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Listen. With Brill, I take my 10%, right? But for real, I'm doing more than a trainer. Yeah. But I discuss everything with him, and then I leave it up to him if he gonna throw an extra couple dollars. And most of the time he do. Him, G. No, because we was doing, you know what I'm saying? And I be like, bro, look, we ain't fight for how long? You know what I'm saying? But I ain't worried about them. I'm just saying, we had wait all this time. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you gotta remind people too, though. But then again, guess what? These is two dudes that we do not know personally.
We don't know.
We don't know what's going on. I mean, at the end of the day, but would I want to be treated like that? No. Would I go to court? Yeah, if it was worth it. If it was worth it, I would.
Well, millions is definitely worth it. That's why you going to court. This ain't over no 50,000.
For sure.
Millions.
Cut it.